cyber crisis simulations have two great advantages. The first of all, if you're a new CISO or a new leader into a new organization, it's a really good way to get yourself prepared to know what your role and what position you're going to play once an incident happens. And I've had this at least 2 occasions in an organization where an incident happened within the first month of me joining. The other important aspect is the preparedness element. Now, the preparedness element in terms of how do you educate the board? And this is a great opportunity to educate the board. Educating the board and the CEO is a really good way for them to see, right, okay, I know what my role is, but now you've illustrated to me the impact of a major cyber crisis. Once they've understood the impact of a major cyber crisis, it will begin to unlock funds for you. Now, I've run this with one CEO in one company. It was probably about 8 months into my role. And after I'd come out of the session, he tapped me on the shoulder and said, Darren, I wish you'd run this earlier. You'd have got double the funding from me. So that was a lesson to me to run these much earlier into my tenure. And the last thing is, we don't all come with confidence to be able to speak in the committee or the boardrooms. It's not necessarily a natural thing to do, especially if you're a new CISO or a new leader. But bringing those notable authorities who can add impact to your message. Most organizations around the world have, local jurisdictions like high-tech cybercrime unit or head of police who's involved in cybercrime. Bring those individuals into the boardroom with you, or doing one-to-ones or even small briefing sessions. They're a very good way to amplify your message. And they're free. Quite honestly, they'll come and do that for free. I've had them come into actual committees as well, so a very good way for them to amplify your message. And this really shifts and really gets that momentum going in the right direction. I'll just point out this picture, first of all. You're probably wondering why they're on there, but I did a quick search into Google. I'm looking for an image for regulators. So this is what comes up when you type in regulators. Obviously, it meant banking regulators or industry regulators. But it's actually quite apt because regulators manage pressure. That's what they're there to do. And actually, one of the things that you need to do is manage the regulatory pressure with the boardrooms, the people that are in the boardroom. So this picture is actually quite apt. Now, you want to be shifting the narrative, and we've kind of heard this. The stats that were up earlier were quite interesting. That was just shared. We want to be shifting the narrative from compliance to cyber resilience. We'll have to comply, and compliance is a trajectory. That's not going away. We'll have to comply. And to do that to some degree, you might even have to use self-attestation, especially when you've got a low maturity organization. But if you use cyber resilience and something like the kill chain to illustrate a kind of an attack process and non-negotiable controls that you'll be putting in place to defend your crown jewels, it almost conjures up a game. And I think this is a really good point, actually, because I've often used Space Invaders as a way to illustrate to board members, we're in a game. Because you want to be illustrating, and there is no hard shell perimeter where you're keeping those bad guys out. They're going to be getting in, and they're going to be getting into various depths and layers within your organization. Your job is to prevent them getting to the crown jewels, and this is a constant game that we play every day. So using the kill chain to help illustrate the game brings it to life, and you want to be able to bring it to life for your senior leaders. By putting some metrics in place that shows how you're winning or getting better within the kill chain and defending the crown jewels is a good way to bring it to life. But ultimately, you want to be building a full suite of board risk appetite metrics.